see that everyone looks refreshed. Huh? Yeah. So, as you heard, my name is Nima Riches. I work from Accountability Lab. Accountability Lab is the fiscal sponsor of this program funded by the UNDP, and we support our campus in this venture. So we work closely together. I'm the Program and Learning Director. I'm happy to be here this morning and to see all of you, to put, some name to the faces. We met on the orientation. A few of you, I remember Lawrence, face clearly on the orientation yesterday, and a good number of you were also there. So on behalf of our campus and Accountability Lab, and all of us that are jointly facilitating the program, we want to welcome you to Buchanan. You already heard, I don't need to restate that this is the county of hospitality, right? So it's a good place to start. We hope that you come not just with expecting what we're about to deliver, but you also came to actively participate, right? To ask questions of doubt, to engage, to interact, and get to know other members of the group, and to learn, right? So we hope that you came with all of that. And whatever your expectations are that you've already mentioned, and we hope that if you add some of these things that we've added, then we're going to have a fruitful 3 days of interaction while we're here. So on behalf of the host of this county, which we hope will join us soon, we'd like to welcome all of you, and we hope that the next few hours we spend here today and the rest of the day will be rewarding. We're quite excited about this venture. We're quite excited about this joining that we're about to embark on. We see it's a bigger prospect, not only for you individually as a company, but the prospect of what it brings for all Liberians, right? So we hope that you will remain engaging, you will put your best act ahead, and that what we all set out to do here today and in the days to come, we align with the objectives of the UNDP, who has been very, very positive in their support to ensure that we have the funding, that we got the skills and resources to bring together to help you take your cooperative to the next level that is going to employ a lot of other young people, that is going to bring you economic rewards, and is going to drive our country in the direction of food sustainability and security. So with that being said, we want to say thank you for coming and being a part of this journey. Welcome, all of you.
Is that all you can do for Mr. Riches? Well, the Group Accelerator Liberia program is entering its second year. This is cohort 2. Last year, 5 Liberian businesses got up to $40,000 to be able to scale up their businesses. And there are already success stories coming from some of those businesses. They've left from where they were when we started to empower them to a particular height, and we even hope that they can even surpass the current height they find themselves in. So the Group Accelerator program is proudly sponsored and financed by the United Nations Development Programs, Nigeria, UNDP, and is implemented by our campus, partnership with Accountability Lab, Agri-Tech Liberia, and the biggest partner to all of the donors is the government of Liberia, right? Also the East African Market Association, they are providing us some real technical training. That's what Finel is here from Kenya, The BSC Monrovia is also one of our partners. They will be running us through the MSME track. Remember, we also have another group of entrepreneurs that will be meeting next week, the week after next in Ganta, to be able to go through the same training like you. So, for an overview and the entire roadmap of the Growth Accelerator program, we now call on the CEO of iCampus Liberia, Mr. Mita Jenkins.
Thank you very much, Moses. On behalf of our partners at NDP Liberia and also the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, our fiscal sponsor, Accountability Lab Liberia, our local partners at Agrotech Liberia, and also our regional partner, East Africa Market Development Associates. We want to welcome you all to the official launch and visioning bootcamp of the Agriculture Cooperative of the Liberia MSME Growth Accelerator Program. I think previous speakers talked about how the program was launched and piloted last year, where we launched the call for application last year for about 2 weeks. We received a total of 168 applications from 9 counties. And we had to use a set of criteria through a 3-phase process where we narrowed down and selected 10 semi-finalists, right? Where we worked with those 10 semi-finalists over the course of 6 months. And out of that, we had the final pitching ceremony last year on December 7th. And then we were able to get the 5 finalists from the 10. And those 5 finalists have gone on to receive grant funding, co-financing grant funding from UNDP and partners. And now they're working and impacting other young people, women, and persons with disabilities. We'll talk about what the co-financing means. But again, like Moses said, I'm Muto Jeke. I work at iCampus. And we've been designing, running, and managing the Growth Accelerator program. So I'll take you through quickly the reasons why we are here, and then take you through the roadmap quickly, as quick as possible. And then after that, we'll have Mr. Dosla Fakate from the UNDP who will say a few words. And then from there, we'll turn it over to our lead facilitator and our co-facilitator to take us on the journey of these 3 days. So we're here for 3 days. This is a boot camp. And a boot camp is typically 48 to 72 hours event where people leave their comfort zones and come together to learn. Not just to learn, but also to share. Not just to share, but also to network, right? So we'll be learning, we'll be sharing, we'll be networking. That's why we brought you from Lofa, Nimba, Maserati, and so forth. So we could have said, okay, let's tailor this thing to have people, we go to Nimba, we conduct workshop, we go to Lofa, we conduct workshop, we go to Maserati, we do that, right? But coming together, learning together, and sharing is very important. Naturally, we'll learn a lot, right? Because the key things we are looking for here is how can people share their unique experiences with one another? So you're doing, livestock, you're doing rice farming, you're doing different things, right? But you will be surprised to note that similar challenges we have in Lofa, we're having it in Nimba, right? And someone has been able to navigate those challenges in Lofa. He can share some of those lessons learned and the steps he took or she took with the folks in Nimba, right? So while we're here to learn, right? The facilitators don't know it all. So that's why we want to make sure that we're not just presenting PowerPoints, but rather we're here looking at specific scenarios, unique experiences that affect all of us daily. and how we can learn together and navigate those experiences. So please make sure you ask a lot of questions as possible. If you have doubts, no question here will be stupid, right? All of us, we are here to learn. Myself, I'm here to learn. No one here is Mr. or Mrs. Know-it-all. So please ask questions as much as possible. So like I said, we're here for 3 days. As you are aware, you apply for the Growth Accelerator program. So this year, we launched the call for application on May 26th, right? And we did a lot of visibility, marketing, and so forth. We sent out physical application form to the 7 priority counties. And we did radio jingles, announcement, flyers, and so forth. So we closed the call for application on June 16th, right? Last month. When we closed the call for application, we went out into the counties again to collect the application forms. And also we have the application form posted on the Growth Accelerator Liberia website. So people who apply through the physical application form and also through the online form. When we closed the call for application on June 16, we received a total of 228 applications across the 2 tracks. So we are running 2 cohorts this year, as Moses mentioned earlier. We are running 1 cohort for the MSME, which is the small businesses, right? Macro and small businesses. So we launched the call for application together. So the MSME track will receive a total of 188 applications. For the agricultural cooperative, we receive a total of 40 applications from 9 counties. So that's your track, right? So out of that 40 applications, we have a set of criteria. Like I said, it's a 3-phase process. So once you apply, out of that 40 applications, the first thing we did was we had a set of criteria, making sure the cooperative is legitimate based on the application you submitted. Making sure you're registered, you have a leadership, you're based in one of the counties, the cooperative is owned by the members, all of those basic things. So out of the 40, the team went together, we selected the top 25 applications based on the criteria we set out for the program. So those top 25 applications, we set up something called the Independent Selection Committee. Because UNDP is very particular about transparency, accountability, and also merit-based systems. So that Independent Selection Committee was set up. We have representatives from the Cooperative Development Agency, the Federation of the Cooperative Society. We had a representative from the Ministry of Agriculture. We had a representative from Integrity Watch Liberia, just making sure that they're independent folks, and then we had an independent agri-business development specialist. So we set up that 5-man committee, and then they had another set of criteria they were looking at, kind of going into the granular level, right? If you say you have leadership, who are on the leadership? If you say you want to scale this cooperative, go further, what are the means through which you are going to use to scale that cooperative? Looking at whether the cooperative is supporting specifically young people, youth, whether the cooperative is supporting women, whether you are incorporating persons with disability into your programming as well. And kind of deeply looking at, let's say you should win the $40,000 or access the $40,000 co-financing grant from UNDP at the end of the program. What will you do with that money? Are you going to use the money to buy a car or build a house? Or you're going to use the money to develop the capacity of your members? Are you going to use the money to get farm imports for your members? Because sometimes you see it's very tricky, right? Cooperative societies, you find out that, okay, 2 men running the cooperative. Yeah, there are 2 men are running the cooperative. all of them got their own farms, right? So sometimes when you give them support, people will take it and put it on the side for themselves. But we wanted to look at the application forms to make sure that whatever support you're getting through this program is going to go to the benefits of your members. Making sure that you're reducing costs on them, making sure that you're building the capacity, and making sure that you're keeping the group together as well. So the top 25 applications or cooperatives that were selected, they went through the vetting process with the independent selection committee that I named earlier. And out of that 25, the selection committee selected the top 10 and dropped 15, right? And then that top 10, we organized what we call the due diligence visit. So I think you can barely witness that our teams were in Lofa, Nimba, Maserado, and so forth, and visiting you, so that if you send in your application our own one bucket, we wanted to see it, right? So we went out the whole of the last week of June. We visited each and every one. I was personally in Saminkole, in Ganta, the team was in Salomba, we went to Foya, Wajama, and so forth. We went to Cocoa Farm and all of that. So we did the due diligence visit. Out of the 10 shortlisted applications that we had from the selection committee, when we did the verification process, we had to drop one, right? And then we went back to the top 25. I mean, we did 15 that were dropped, and then we did another due diligence and we replaced that one because it was not what they said in the application was not representative of what we saw in the field. So we dropped one and then we replaced that. We did the due diligence, and I want to say congratulations to all of you, right? So now we have 10 cooperatives, and the essence of this is we wanted to make sure that when the program is building a capacity, we have 2 representatives from each cooperative. That's why you're 20 in the room. And please, I'm sure Jonathan will take care of that, but if we're here from the same cooperative and sitting on the same seat, I know there will be activities where we'll do together, but as much as possible, we want to make sure we get to know new people, right? So let's mix as much as possible. So now you're 10 cooperatives. I'll take you through the joining quickly. I know Mr. Fukade has to come, but I'll take you through the roadmap of the program quickly, so you know exactly what's going to be happening this year. The Growth Accelerator program is very, very strict when it comes to who we select, right? We did this program last year, like Moses mentioned. We have 5 MSMEs who are accessing co-financing grant funding from UNDP and partners at the moment. And they're building, for example, the ready-made chocolate in Ganta, the Nima Ventures that are doing snails farming in Seklepi. We have Wongo's Farm in Bon County, Salala. We have Lunchbox in Maserado, Libra Sanitation in Maserado, and so forth. So we can see some evidence, right? That's why we're not just doing paper-based things. We're doing physical workshops and visiting you, doing due diligence visits. We got monitoring visits, joint monitoring visits with UNDP, the Ministry of Commerce, and so forth. So I just want to run you quickly through what we will be doing throughout this year. First thing I'd like you to note, the 2 people that are representing your cooperative here today, we expect that the 2 people will end this program. Is it clear? Yes. So this is a whole journey. And we have point A, point B, point C, point D. We can come, we say we're developing growth plan, right? Then we say, okay, 2 people come today, they did point A. Then tomorrow we get another 2 people from the cooperative. We're not connected that, right? So we are making sure that the 2 people that are starting this journey today are going to be the ones to end it. Yeah, when we come for the final pitching and other things that I'll talk about shortly, other people can come to watch. But 2 of you are going to develop what we call your growth plan for your cooperative. So I mentioned most of these things earlier today. I talked about the launch of the application and the press conference. We did due diligence. We did the orientation section, right? Where most of you joined virtually. So today, tomorrow, and Saturday, we are here for the Visioning Bootcamp, right? The Visioning Bootcamp will cover a lot of topics. This is more like the launch of the program. And it also covers a lot of different topics, including finance, including looking at your challenges as a group, looking at how you can resolve conflicts, a lot of things you will cover during these 3 days. So we're here whole day today till 4:35. Tomorrow again we are here whole day till 4:35. On Saturday we have a half day section because the program basically accommodates for 3 nights of stay, so we want to just make sure that we don't overrun the budget. So that means we will wrap up around 1 o'clock, 1:30 on Saturday, and then make sure everybody get the transportation reimbursement and so forth, and then we start making our journey back. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. So we're here today, whole day we sleep. Tomorrow, whole day we sleep. Saturday, we wrap up around 1:30, and we start making our journey back to our various counties. So the boot camp is for 3 days. After the boot camp, we go back to our counties, right? Then we have workshop 1. And workshop 1, we are revising some of these subjects and topics, right? Yeah. Along with our folks from Agri-Tech like Merck and East Africa Market Development Associates. But workshop 1 will focus on cooperative service provision, right? The services you provide to your members. And there are a lot of things under that. So workshop 1 will be happening in Monroeville. And please put it on your calendar. We'll share this with you. The workshop 1 will be happening in Monroeville. And it's going to be from August 3rd to the 4th. 2 days workshop. 2 whole day workshop. So that means we'll be bringing you back to Monroeville on August 2nd. On the 2nd of August. Right? We'll do the same arrangement. Hotel, transportation, feeding, everything else. And then bring you to Monroeville on August 2nd. And then we'll have a 2 days workshop on the 3rd and the 4th. And then you go back. After that, we will have another workshop, which is workshop 2 for you, which will be looking at supply of farm imports, right? How can you utilize the farm imports you will get through this program, or the funding you will get when you get the farm import? How do you supply it? How do you make sure your members are utilizing whatever support that is given? And like I said, some of these topics will be revised as we go along, looking at your needs, what you will tell the facilitators today. So we are learning organization. We're not just static when we write things and say, okay, everything is new. No matter what challenges you're going through, we will tailor things towards your needs, right? So August 30th to the 31st, we'll have workshop 2. Madam Stephanie is working on that. We said Monroeville originally. So we're looking at maybe Kakata or Banga, right? We'll see how we can structure that. It was originally planned for Monrovia, but all of our farmers in here, so we want to make sure we're not looking at too much city. But workshop 1 will be in Monrovia, but we're planning to see, we'll communicate the venue of workshop 2 as we go along. But it will be on, that means arrival date will be on the 29th of August, just like we did here, and then we'll have the workshop on the 30th and the 31st. After that workshop, the second workshop will be the final workshop for 5 of you, 5 cooperatives. You got it? After the second workshop, it will be the final workshop for 5 of you in the room. 5 cooperatives in the room. So because this is a challenge, this is an innovation challenge from UNDP, we want to make sure, like we said, it's merit-based, right? So the grant funding that we have for the program this year from UNDP, it doesn't provide for 10 cooperatives to get the 40,000 each. It provides for 5 cooperatives to access the $40,000 each. That's why we say it's a challenge, right? We bring you together, you learn together, share together, network, and then go back and develop something that you can convince people with. That if you give me the 40,000, see what I'll do for the people in my country, especially my members, right? See what I'll do for the people in Lofa. So after the second workshop, Agrotech Liberia, East Africa Market Development Associates, the Accountability Lab, iCampus team will work with you to develop what we call your pitch, right? Which is the Judgment Day pitch, right? Now you're about to develop something to tell the judges that if you give me the money, this is what I'll do, and this is how I will contribute to the growth and development of Liberia. So we'll work with you for a period of 2 weeks in between after the second workshop. Virtual, we'll have some Zoom calls here and there. We'll probably, those that are close by, you can come to Monrovia. We'll organize sections and work with you so that you can develop your final presentation. And then on September 15th at the Ministerial Complex in Congo Town will be the final pitching ceremony for your group. So we'll bring you in town on September 14th. All of you will come in town on September 14th. And the final pitching ceremony is a 3-hour event. Last year when we had the final pitching ceremony, we had about 200 people in the audience. We had 6 judges. We had the Minister of Agriculture on the judging panel. We have the CEO of EcoBank Liberia, the CEO of UBA, Dr. Tanya Garnett. We had the Deputy Swedish Ambassador, the President of the Liberia Chamber of Commerce, Councillor Oswald Twain. So there were 6 people on the panel. And the final pitching ceremony is structured in such a way that each of the cooperatives will have 10 minutes on stage. Whether you want to prepare video, PowerPoint, Word document, anything you want to do, right? That's why we'll work with you for the 2 weeks to prepare that. You go on stage, the judges will be there, the audience will be there. And then you pitch what we call your growth plan. If you give me the 40,000, this is what I'm going to do with it. And then all of you will have 10 minutes each, and the judges will have about 10 to 15 minutes of follow-up questions and so forth. So once you present, they ask you questions back and forth, and then you take your seat. So they have a set of criteria that will be looking at the very deep down into your cooperative, right? And it can be fun, but it can be somehow interesting as well. And you know what they call when you go on stage, you get xenophobia. Some people can get it. So yeah, you present 10 minutes, the judges will have 10 to 15 minutes follow up with you, and then after that, right on stage, right? Because at Liberia, people will say they're not cheating, right? So right on stage, the judges right after all 10 of you present. So the presentation is structured, like I said, 10 minutes. You can do a solo presentation. Both of you can do a combined presentation. Somebody can take on the introduction and blah, blah, blah. Somebody can do the whole presentation. You can divide it, right? So it's free. 2 persons maximum. And then also you can do a solo presentation. But we encourage kind of combined presentation so that both of you can, because both of you learn everything, right? Yeah. So we want you to participate as well. So y'all do the presentation, like I said, at the ministerial complex, and the judges will stay right on stage. They will do the tabulation of the scores and everything, and then they will announce right there, right? They will announce right there. We will know the 5 that are moving forward and the 5 that are dropping. Somebody asked during the orientation section, they were like, so what is the benefit that the other 5 will drop again, right? The benefit is you keep the Buchanan, you learn from this visioning bootcamp. You keep the Moreover, you went Kakatan, you learn, you develop action plans, you develop a lot of modules to guide and govern your cooperative. You met new people. You slept in Buchanan, right? You joined, you probably saw Sunset Beach. So we don't have any monetary benefits or income benefit that we give to you when you're dropping on September 15th. But all of what you learn, we expect that you apply it to your cooperative. And this is a very unique experience that I want you to take very seriously. So after September 15th, we'll now say goodbye to 5, right? And then we'll have 5 cooperative moving forward. Ignore Buchanan, I think we'll be going Ganta. But Stephanie is working on the final because we have to switch schedules around. So there'll be a workshop 3. That workshop 3 now will have only 10 participants from 5 cooperatives. This is where now Phineas, Jonathan, and the team will be taking you through how do you market the services of your cooperative. Also, we'll take a deep dive into financial management. We'll also look at grant management as well. We're speaking with the UNDP program management team to see how best we can incorporate some of their grant management trainings into that. Because when you access UNDP funding, okay, we'll get the money, we'll get what we use it, right? There's a whole lot of requirements. You get serious narrative reporting to do every stage of the process. You get serious financial reporting to do every stage of the process. How do you document the process? How do you get all of your receipts and invoices, all of those things. So they'll train you how to do that. So September 28th to the 29th, like I said, we're looking at Ada Ganta. Go there again, like we bring you guys back and forth. We'll go to Ganta or wherever. Then we'll have that workshop 3. So like I said, only 10 people will be in attendance, 2 from each. After that, right after we, so I skipped one step, it's not there, but after September 15th, that's why from the day 1, while we're here, we're going to work with you to make sure all of those, every step of the way, all of those requirements that we need to get to be able to access the co-financing grant funding for UNDP, we'll start working with you from day 1. You need to, for example, create a dedicated bank account for UNDP money. UNDP, they're straightforward. They say they don't do what they call co-mingling of funds. You know what I mean? Right? It means that if you get your own bank account for your company or your cooperative, where you have to transaction, when you get all of donor money inside, they will not allow you to go take the 40,000 and put it on the money, start missing money off. Right? They want to have a dedicated bank account for the program that they send the 40,000 to. That when they ask you tomorrow, get a bank statement, you can You can't start showing bank statement that show that, oh, the cooperative president traveled to Yugoslavia, so you bought a plane ticket, or you got something from there to pay a child school fee. There are specific and strict milestones and deliverables that you'll be getting the money to apply it to. So that's why we'll work with you from day one. Make sure that you create a bank account, all the things you need to do. That's the essence of this training. One thing we noticed when we went in the field is most of you are not registered with the Cooperative Development Agency, which is a fact, right? Because I was in the field myself. So that's one thing we'll make sure that by the time we hit September 15th, all of you be part of the training as well. We got some documents from them, the process, how to register with the Ministry of Agriculture, the Cooperative Development Agency, all of that, to make sure that you do that. By the time you hit, you're already set up to receive grant funding. And the thing about the good thing about UNDP is they got something called the vendor profile. Once you work with you and you get to that stage by September 15th, you do all of your documentation, all of your processes, and you are in the system now. Once you have that vendor profile, in the future, you got future engagement with them. The vendor profile already there, right? They can now easily give you grant funding because they've already vetted you through another program. If you got future programs now, you can do something, right? So once we are done with the September 15th final pitching, we already know our 5 people that are now going to move forward to receive the grant funding, right? Yeah. So what we are going to do now, we'll be working with UNDP because from day one, we'll make sure that you're already in compliance with all of the rules and regulations. So this year, according to what we learned from UNDP, they'll be giving the grant funding in 2 trenches, right? 2 trenches. And that's one of the things we've added to this program. That it's not a day regular like renting where you just go, they just give you 40,000, you go, you do what you want to do, right? But rather, we developed the M&E metrics, the monitoring evaluation. So tied into that is, we'll have a set of milestones, right? A set of things that you need to do. Each of those milestones comes with various deliverables. So let's say, okay, when we give you the grant funding, we'll give you 50% of the 40,000, which is 20,000, right? You get that off front. You got 1, 2, 3 things to do for the cooperative. When you do those things, right, and accomplish all of that, then we'll go in the field for what we call monitoring visit. We'll go for that monitoring visit. We verify all of what you've done. Then from there, you can tell your NDP now, okay, they've used the money for the first tranche for the intended purpose. Then we approved it, and you move forward now to receive the second tranche. So we are hoping that every single cooperative in this room can receive the 40K in total between September and November, right? Because they have to liquidate this entire program funding by December 15th. So we're kind of working on that in terms of having 2 trenches to make sure. So now they're going to pay something upfront. And then after the September 28th, before I take my seat, we have something called one-on-one coaching and mentoring section, right? So those are tailored sections for each of the cooperative. These are not workshops now. So after all of the workshop, these 5 cooperatives that are moving forward, some people will have issues with the financial model. Some people will have issues with operation. Some people have issues with management, conflict resolution, all of that. What we want to do is, based on your specific case scenario, we'll organize sections with East Africa Market Development Associate, Agrotech, so that they provide that one-on-one support to you between November and February of next year. So that when you have specific issues, you reach out to us and we set up that time. 1 hour, 2 hour section. Some of it will go there to you, some of it will do it on Zoom, just to support you. And then over the course of after September, the course of the next 6 months, we'll be monitoring and making sure we pay a visit to you and then you'll be a part of the Growth Accelerator Liberia network. So that's how the entire year is going to run, and we hope that every single cooperative in this room is committed to the process. Like I said, the two people that start this journey were in it. Unless something extraordinary happens, maybe somebody travel or somebody pass away, God forbid, or something, right? And then we can say, you know, these are circumstances that we didn't expect, let's replace. So that's how the entire year will go. And like I mentioned earlier about this schedule, so please, like I said earlier, make sure that you ask a lot of questions. Moses introduced Phineas earlier today, but we'll have a proper introduction. He came from all the way Nairobi, Kenya, to come and support you. East Africa Market Development Associates have been doing this work for the last 20 years, supporting farmers and cooperatives in Kenya, Uganda, all over East Africa. And because of that experience, and UNDP has worked with them on this journey in the past, so they recommended that we work with them so that the local business development service provider, Agrotech Liberia, who has been working with FAO, Ministry of Agriculture, supporting farmers and cooperative, can learn as much as possible, share their experiences so that we can build your capacity, right? As much as possible. So that people money here from way Europe and America and things we put together to support us. So let's make use of this opportunity and make sure that we're learning together, sharing, and also networking. So without much to say, I want to thank you all for coming. I know it was a short notice, but we all made it to the Capital City. Thank you very much.
I think we need not to say anything, right? Yeah. We already know from where we come and where we're going to arrive in the Growth Accelerator program. So the people who decided that Liberian farmers are very important, and we're giving money to other countries, we also need to give money to Liberian farmers, the cooperatives. So the team leader for UNDP programs, Mr. Dustin Faculty, will come now and deliver a special statement and declare this will come before the opening.
Good morning. Good morning. Sitting on seat, listening to Luther, it seemed like a whole business 101 program. Yeah, Luther, I really learned from your experience. It's quite interesting, you know. Actually, my first time really getting involved at this level, and already I can see the momentum, and I feel happy as it went through. And some of the things you were saying about UNDP, I mean, it just qualified him to work for us immediately because he understands the system, he knows everything, our vendor profiling and all that. So Luther, thank you. I mean, it's quite interesting. But yeah, I bring you greetings from our resident representative, Mr. Stephen Rodriguez, who couldn't be here this morning because he's off to another program in Bonnie. However, because of the interest we have in this program, we decided to be represented here today. And our campus is a very good partner. Though we work with the Ministry of Commerce, but they are like the implementing arm. So there's something we've started. You know, you look across Liberia today, the data tells us we have a huge youth population, 60%. And that's an asset that we need to really tap into. Given the way Liberia look now, government cannot employ everybody. But if you can have your business, you know, you become your own boss, and you can employ other people. We've had experiences from the continent, especially Rwanda. I don't know whether some of you heard about Youth Connect. Yeah. We just received a delegation, and we've been interacting with them. They're here in country, and we've been talking how we can get the youth to work. I think similar thing, though a little bit slightly different. I mean, the same problem we're facing here today, Rwanda faced that problem 15 years back. But go there now, it's a different story altogether. You go to the Youth Connect program, you get so passionate. You know, you want to do. I mean, the last conference we sent some Liberians there, they came, they were so enthusiastic. You know, so we're trying to do more. But it is only from the results that we will show we'll be able to mobilize more money. So the results we show is very important to us. So like he said, do your best. I mean, to the semi-finalists, I mean, I want to wish all of you well. And try to do your best, do your presentations well, and ensure that you can be a winner. You know, I mean, that's how you start. The little you have, you start here, and tomorrow you could be a millionaire. Get from $40,000, you could grow your business. So other people have success stories. They started, somebody will tell you, I started with 100 US or 200. And today they have huge businesses. We can do the same thing. So I just like to thank our campus for the good job and our guest from East Africa who's here to help us. I ask that you pay keen attention because there is something you're not going to get easily from anywhere else. You know, so pay keen attention. It's not just about winning, but the knowledge you get here today, you know, going to help you tomorrow to sustain your business. Others want to benefit just like you, but they can't be here today. You have the opportunity. So you're going to serve as ambassador. So that's why I say we're interested in the results of the program. But that will help us. As we mobilize more, we increase the scope. We will have more people to receive the grant funding. So let's continue to pray that we will continue to mobilize more resources. And then we try to incorporate more people. You know, and I see Dennis there. He's also been doing a fantastic job for us. You know, we learn a lot of things from him. You know, the data, small businesses, and all that kind of thing. You know, I was very interested in that. And I was happy when he told me, say, yes, we have a database. Well, you know, people in businesses in the different sectors. There's something in Liberia we've not had before. So we're making progress. We're making progress. We just need to build on that and see how best, you know, we can improve. Other countries doing it, Sierra Leone, they're doing this. So we can also do it. So I don't want to bore you too much because you need to go into real business. I just want to thank you. Over the next 3 days, I wish you a very fruitful deliberation. And as you leave from here, you know, it is my own, you know, pleasure that you will learn and then you will use this to move your own life forward. So I just like to end on this note and say thank you so kindly. Thank you.